Hello friends, I invite you along for installing the Flex Fold prop onto the powertrain. This video can also be used for replacing any prop for that matter. You're going to need a size 15 millimeter wrench. Right there you can see the 15, it's upside down there. A deep socket wrench so that it can get into the cavity of the end of the prop. And you're going to need a towel or gloves, something that's going to protect your hand as you keep the prop from spinning so that you can tighten or loosen the nut at the end of the prop. And then here in this bag I have a new nut, which we will be installing along with the Flex Fold prop. I'm the only one shooting this video, and I don't have three hands, so I'm going to have to put the phone down as I use one hand to hold the prop and another hand to hold the wrench to unscrew the bolts. But I'm using my knees to hold the powertrain steady. You do not want to do this while the powertrain is attached to the battery. You do not want to risk any potential that the prop should spin while you are messing with it. There should be no power to the drivetrain when you are changing your prop. Now that I have the nut removed, I want to point out a couple of really important things. In the instruction manual for the tips, it mentions make sure to reposition the keyways into the prop grooves if they are dislodged during propeller removal. And the keyways are these two pins that stick out the side, and we'll look closely at these later in the video. But I also want to show you can see these grooves here, and those are left over from the back end of the original bolt. And then the new nut has a flat bottom to it. Okay, so let's take this off and we will be able to see the keyways. But when you take it off, you want to make sure that should they fall, they're not going to disappear onto the ground beneath you, that you will be aware that they may indeed fall. And they stayed on. So you can see these keyways here, and there's also a washer on the bottom. So the instructions also mention the washer must stay and the keyways must stay. And they may come off. But you can see that there's a groove right here. So there's a groove for the keyways to go into. They're not going to fall off super easily, but they do come off. So do not lose the keyways, my friends. Do not lose the keyways. And make sure the washer stays on. Here's a close look at one of the keyways. You can see that it is completely symmetrical. They're both exactly the same. So if they do come off and fall on the ground, you should be able to interchange them. They're exactly the same. So no worries. Upside down, right side up, they will fit in either way. All right, so let's put that keyway back in. Just inserts in the groove like that, pretty easy. And then we will put on the Flex Fold prop. And make sure you put it on so that the blades are going to fold backwards. You don't want to put it on like that. You want to put it on like that. Oh, there's also another difference here. You can see that it's got a nylon locker on it. So instead of having the metal teeth locker, it's got a nylon lock on it instead. All right, cool. And tip number 2, warning, over torquing or under torquing the propeller could lead to propeller loss or damage. The propeller lock nut should be torqued to 60 inches-pounds. And number 3, foil is not responsible for damage or loss of an improperly installed propeller. And so I just torqued it down to about the same feel as what it took to remove the nut. Definitely really like the nylon lock version versus the original teeth, as you see on the old one, so it doesn't damage the surface or mar the surface of the prop as with the plastic one. Overall, the shape of the original prop and the flex fold prop is very close. The biggest difference is the original prop has a bit more of a point on this edge here compared to the flex fold. Very similar shape here. All right. Installation complete. And later this year, I hope to fully utilize the flex fold prop functionality by surfing some boat wakes, maybe even a tour boat wake. And I will get back to you later in the season on my experiences and review of that. But until then, you can check out my initial experience of the flex fold prop and the Foil R from 2023, as earlier this year, Mike Zed from Jet Surfing Nation and I were blessed with the opportunity to test and see the 2023 gear. And that video will be linked in the upper right-hand corner. And we will see you next time in the next video. And until then, live life to the fullest.